This is the new Be More brewer, the connected coffee brew system, formerly known as the Brazen or Brazen, which is good because I could never figure out how you pronounce it. But as you can see, this is the Brazen or Brazen by Be More. And this is just the Be More Connected, which Joe Beam has been working on for quite a long time. So obviously there's an absence of so many buttons, and that's the connected part of it. And I notice a few slight differences, but as you can see, the form factor is basically the same. And the differences I notice are sort of small with, like those are different. What I really like about this, and I've been using it this week because we just received them, is that the phone connection Wi-Fi thing actually works. It actually makes it really simple. And I know this is a whole trend that we're going to see as appliances that are bare like this. And then we use, our sophisticated interfaces here to make choices, which makes a lot of sense. I mean, to not have to go through menus with little buttons and, ugly little things. You can do this, you can update it, and you can control this on your Wi-Fi. Of course, there's the whole thing where these get hacked and all our data gets stolen. But when I connected this, you put in your Wi-Fi password to connect it to your Wi-Fi, and then you get to choose a password, so you can choose a super strong password. So I think that people are quite aware of that at this point. This is called the Dado or Dado interface, and I don't really understand all that, to be honest. It communicates with Alexa, Amazon. I don't really understand all that either. Maybe you do, but nonetheless, I guess you can just tell Alexa to brew your coffee for you. Sadly, there isn't a robot that grinds it and puts the water in for you, so you still have to do that yourself. What I really do like about it is a few minor upgrades over the old one, where I never liked how putting it in, I always had to fit it and get it just right. It's so hard. By the way, we use markers. If you brew in an office or something, we just write on here with a erasable marker what we have in there. So if you ever brew multiple pots, it's kind of a easy way to do it. So the new brewer is cool. It comes with a mesh filter. I really like paper filters. I actually like doubling up. I like using both. That's a totally legit way to brew. I have 55 grams here, which is what I prefer. And I've pre-wet this. And I just load it in. I just slide it in. I fill my water. So this is a 6 cup, just doing it all by volume. Took a hiatus from automatic brewers, so I didn't realize that a lot of brewers, you have to have the lid on this. You can't brew it without the lid because it doesn't let the coffee drain out of the thing. I know that's really dumb, but I made that mistake, so. And the neat thing, it fits in just really easily, and once it slides into that spot, you're on the right spot for it to drain. And we put the lid on, and we're ready to go. And if you didn't know anything about the previous brewer, this is a kettle and a brewer in one. So this is heating your water, and the fantastic thing about that is a normal auto drip brewer just slowly heats the water as it trickles through and dribbles it into your coffee mass. The problem with that is the water is rarely fully heated evenly to the same temperature from start to finish. So the solution here is that this is a kettle up here. It heats the water and then releases it. You can do pre-infusions and all kinds of cool things. And the manual I found to be really easy and super clearly written. I'll tell you one thing that I feel is missing from the manual that I was looking for it right away, is what what do the color codes on the button mean? Because it's a bit sophisticated. It tells you when it's looking for Wi-Fi with a certain color code. It tells you when it starts to brew, when it's pre-infusion, when it's brewing with a color code. I didn't see that right away, so we'll add that to the product description, or try to link to an image that's just a key to what these colors mean. So all I have to do is come here, open my app. I could either just hit plus, or I could go into my favorites, or I could set my quick start, for example. Here's my default. Let's say I want 6 cups. I want 205 degrees, and I want, let's go for a full minute of pre-infusion. And that's my quick start now. It's actually, I chose yes, so it's gonna start the brew. What I also want to tell you about this is you get it, you don't set up Wi-Fi. As you can see, it's now brewing. It's going to start heating the water. You don't need this phone. You don't need anything. You can hit a button and start brewing. Just hit the button. Well, put the coffee in, put the water in, hit the button, and you're brewing coffee. I think he has the defaults for an 8-cup brew at 200 with 45 minutes soak, if I remember correctly. So if somebody gets this and they don't want to download the app, connect to the Wi-Fi, etc., they can hit this button. This is the dado button, and that tells you the status of your connection to your Wi-Fi. Now we've started brewing at my new default, which is a 6-cup brew, and I just wanted to show you how it actually does show you what this means. So I have here, you may or may not be able to see, but it has the recipe that I inserted into, it has the status with the color, which is what's going on here, and it has my time. So if I was walking around somewhere else, I could be notified. You also, if you allow alerts from the app, it will tell you when it starts brewing, and it will tell you when it's finished brewing. So you could just go about your thing, walk back in right when the coffee finished brewing. I think the thing that impressed me, because this isn't normally my thing, like Wi-Fi appliances and blinking lights and stuff, is that this did really simplify brewing. I think this is much easier to brew on than this with all the buttons on it. And this works really well. And it gives you a full range of any number of different brew recipes. And you just set the time for brewing in the morning or something, which is what I like to do. I like the coffee ready. It's just kind of fun after all this manual brewing to wake up in the morning and 10 minutes before you woke up, your coffee started brewing. And the app, I thought, works really well. Oh, look, my brew is done. So then I can just go in here and enjoy a wonderful cup of coffee. I've returned to green. Very nice. Thanks, Be More.